Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. This is your presenter and speaker, Dr. Ismail Abbasi. I am working as assistant professor in higher education department in Government of Punjab. Today in this session, I would talk about the evolutionary process of patriarchy, evolutionary origin of patriarchy, which has led to the creation of women's oppression. There are 6 theories about this particular type of origin of patriarchy that has led to the creation of women's oppression. Theory number 1, also known as or called as hypothesis number 1. These are the theories that I have extracted from an article titled as The Evolutionary Origin of Patriarchy, written by Barbara Smuts. In the first hypothesis, she says, among ancestral hominids, female ability to resist male aggression was compromised by reduced social support from kin and female allies. This is the first theory that has led to the creation of patriarchy and that has led to the evolution of women oppression. When we look at the society, we see that female after marriage, they have to go to the male's house. They have to depart from the ancestral home. When we see this type of social disconnect on part of female from their relative, from their kin and family allies, so female feel themselves as alienated and they feel themselves as separated from their own relative. When we see among the old tribes or the old socialist system, over there it was the socialist system where male used to go to the tribes instead of the modern aspect where female have to depart from their particular ancestral families, from their parental home. So this is the first theory that has led to the creation of patriarchy, where female are reduced, they are separated and alienated from their own family members. Theory number 2. The second hypothesis states over the course of human evolution, male-male alliance became increasingly well developed. These alliances were often directed against females and they increased male power over females. When we see our society, especially the tribes or communities which are very rigid towards female, over there you see the jirga system or the commune system or the socialist system is completely controlled by male member. In jirga, the female are not allowed. They are not allowed to appear. They are not allowed to sit and they are not allowed to present their opinion over any particular issue or concern related to them. So it is the male members who decide the fate of females, whether that is relevant to their marriages, whether they are relevant to their divorces, whether they are relevant to any other course of action or any other problem or anything that is relevant to their future. So second hypothesis says that male alliance which excluded female from decision making, that has led to the increased power of male members over the females. So second hypothesis is the male alliance. First hypothesis was female alienation. Third hypothesis. Third theory states over the course of human evolution, and particularly since the advent of agriculture and animal husbandry, males gained control over resources that females need to survive and reproduce. This increased males' ability to control and coerce female. So, in a way, when we see the application of this particular theory, we find that it is the female's reproductive system or female's reproductive ability that has led to the creation of their own subjugation. The resources relevant to these kinds of productivity or sources of production in agriculture and animal husbandry, where male controlled the resources that female were taking care of in domestic life, when female themselves were responsible of agriculture and animal husbandry, but the resources that were controlled by male members. So in a way, that type of control, that type of ability coerced female member. When we see ecofeminism, where Karen Javerian and Val Plumwood talk about the binaries, talk about the control, and talk about the dominance of male members over nature as well as our female members, that type of control and influence has led to the creation of evolution of patriarchy, which as a result allowed female oppression to come into being. So this was the third theory. Theory number fourth. The fourth hypothesis states over the course of evolution, male socio-political arrangements increased the variance in male wealth and power and perpetuated family differential across generation. When we see the society, especially after the advent of modernization, when we see the male control over resources, system of production, sources of economic generational activities, that type of control, that type of influence upon the control have led to increase of male wealth. The activities outside the home were controlled by male members. The activities such as domestic duties, they were assigned to female members. So domestic duties were reduced to of having no financial wealth, financial value, or financial significance. Rather, outside activities such as hunting, such as control upon the resources that generated income, those activities have led to the creation of wealth and generation of wealth. And all those factories, all those farms, and all those animals, and all those resources that generated income were controlled by male member, and that ultimately led to the creation of wealth in the hands of male member, whereas female were deprived from the sources of production, from ownership of wealth, and ultimately from the ownership of private property. When we see this type of application of this theory in Marxist feminism, where Friedrich Engels gives the detailed account in the origin of family, private property, and the state. In his book, he states all those particular matters that have led to the creation of subjugation of female as a result of deprivation of the resources of wealth, whereas the male members controlled and increased their wealth, power, influence upon the women members. So, this theory number 4 talks about the Marxian philosophy related to female individuals and how they led to the creation of women oppression. Theory number 4th, as a result of increasingly unequal relationship among men, women became increasingly vulnerable to the will and the whims of few more powerful men, and the women's control over their own sexuality was greatly reduced. So women led to another aspect of this particular theory when we see is the application of monogamy upon male members and how polygamy was practiced on part of the male member and monogamy was practiced or forcefully applied upon female members in order to ensure the legitimacy of their next generation or the children, so that the accumulated wealth could go to the rightful heirs. So this particular fourth theory is relevant to the Marxian feminist application of resources where wealth and sexuality was controlled by male members and female members were reduced to of having no power at all. Theory number 5th. The fifth hypothesis states in pursuing their material reproductive interest, women often engage in behaviors that promote male resource control and male control over female sexuality. Thus, women as well as men contribute to the perpetuation of patriarchy. When we analyze this particular theory, we see that women themselves are responsible for their own subjugation. Women themselves led to the behaviors that led to the creation of their own subjugation and their own control by male members. This particular type of theory is evident in the psychoanalytical feminism, where Nancy Cordero and Julia Kristeva and many other theorists present that how mother-daughter relationship and how female themselves engage in some sort of behaviors that led to the creation of or strengthening of patriarchy, and as a result, evolution of women oppression. For instance, the roles of mother-in-laws, the roles of senior female members in our various institutes, where we see that these are the senior members or female members. They lead themselves in some such roles where they strengthen patriarchy, and they are the reason or they are the cause of reducing their junior female colleagues to the position of nothing, and they present some such philosophies or some such tactics that reduce the already powerless women to the position of more powerlessness. So this particular type of theory can be seen or investigated in the psychoanalytical feminism, where women themselves are responsible for the creation of their own subjugation or the subjugation of their own fellow members or colleagues. Theory number 6. Hypothesis 6 suggests the evolution of cooperative or capacity of language allowed males to consolidate and increase their control over females because it enabled the creation of propagation of ideologies of male dominance, female subordinance, and male supremacy and female inferiority. So, this particular type of theory is grounded in linguistic violence, where we see that the use and application of linguistic abilities allows the male members to develop control. When we analyze the use of language in the society, when we see that how all those abuses, how all those slangs, and how all those stereotypes are directed towards female members, whereas male members are completely filled with honor, respect, and prestige as in their own social circles, whereas female members are stereotyped because of the use of language and how all those abuses are directed towards women. So, this particular type of theory is grounded in feminist critical discourse analysis and other linguistic theories, where they see how linguistic violence is used and utilized against the women by the powerful men who propagate those ideologies through the use of language, which led to their own dominance and their supremacy, and ultimately, as a result, create female subordination and female inferiority. So, this was theory number 6. So, in a nutshell, when we see the patriarchy, its evolution, and the creation of oppression, the first theory was a reduction in female alliance. Second was elaboration of male-male alliance. And the third theory suggested increased male control over resources. Fourth one talked about increased hierarchy formation among men. Fifth one exposed female strategies that reinforce male control over females. And sixth one documents the evolution of language and its power to create ideologies. So these are the 6 theories of origin of women oppression, where women remain powerless and men remain more powerful and influential due to application of these particular thought processes. So if you have any question, any query related to these ideas, you can reach me out through my email address or through the comment section below this particular link that would be shared to you in this digital platform. So stay happy, stay tuned, and create such behaviors that empower your related family women and remove the unnecessary control of patriarchy in your family and workplaces. So stay tuned.